Okay, we are live.
Okay, so Beng was just sharing with us early bits of his journey in iPhone photography or mobile photography as it's popularly known. So, Beng, as you were describing it, the thing that I sort of wanted to jump on was you said you started taking still life, and then after that you progressed to taking more images outside or with life, so to speak. And then after that, you decided to be a bit more thick-skinned and approach people actually and ask for their permission to take the photos. One of the things that I think I enjoy, and I'm sure a lot of people enjoy, was the fact that you don't just post photos. Sometimes you actually have very descriptive, short but very descriptive stories behind it, and I think that's what makes people enjoy the image. There's a story behind it. After all, photography is all about story, especially if you want to think about people. So the question I really wanted to ask was, what helped you move from still to live or motion or dynamic, and then to people photography? What was it that prompted you? What made you think that you wanted a change in direction?
I believe it's a personal journey. As when I started photography, I started to explore the other possibilities. So, like I mentioned earlier on, I started with stills and like that. And it's a natural progression that I decided to move into street. And after street, I moved into portraiture. But then, when it comes to the portraiture shot, in the beginning when I captured them, what happened was, I went home, I looked at the picture. I know I shot a face, but I didn't know who the person is. So that triggered off another exploration in terms of getting to know the subject better. So after that, I started to become their friends. Spend some time talking to them, and after that, I will secretly take a shot when they're not posed and all that. So when I went back home, I looked at the picture. It somehow complete me because I know the person. So it was that, the progress, the journey. So I don't know what's going to happen next year. I don't know where I will go. But for now, I'll just keep on doing what I do till something will trigger me to move to another direction.
Well, the thing about what you're doing as well is that it's popularly known as street photography. And as you know, of course there are many types of photography, and one of the things that Singaporeans feel is that it's very boring to shoot in Singapore all the time because it's all the same thing, and so they say, you must go out of Singapore to take photographs. But by me looking at your photos, it makes me think that Singapore is not boring. It is dynamic, it's ever changing, and you just got to know where to go, what to observe. And I just wonder, in your short journey as a mobile photographer, especially in the area of street photography, what have you observed? I mean, obviously, many people would have read viewpoints of how fast Singapore has changed. But from a social point, when you're looking at it, what do you think, how it has changed, and through that, your photography has managed to capture that?
Okay, Singapore is a tough country to shoot. Why is it tough? Because we are so accustomed to the way things are, that we start to miss them. So it's always a challenge to me to open my eyes even wider, to observe even further. So on the social aspect, it has changed a lot in terms of many a times people are too caught up with their own life, and not many people have the time, including me myself, must admit. But if we can spend a little bit of time getting to know a bit of the social issues and highlighting it through photography to make people aware of it, why not? So it's every photographer dream to travel away to shoot. They always say you shoot better overseas. But I think if you are able to capture it locally on your own ground, no matter where you are, I think you will still produce the same results.
One of the things that has rubbed off on you when you start to get to know more people from RFSG was that you have now started to go into film photography. Perhaps not many people know. Some may know that you actually have a little point and shoot film camera. I believe it's a Ricoh GR1 or something. And you actually have shot with Portra. But no matter what film, the question I think a lot of film buffs or RFSG, a lot of film buffs here. What's the experience like? Because the iPhone is actually very digitized, very digital. Everything is all very modern, the latest technology. Whereas film is very old school, very analog. It's a different experience. And your iPhone, you straight away you can see the result and you can make a decisive action as to whether to keep, whether to publish, does it need editing, etc. Whereas film is different. We all know that film, part of the joy was taking a photo and actually not seeing it. But what is the experience for you? How did you feel when you first picked up that film camera?
Okay, how it all started was, everyone knows that I shoot with a camera phone. I never been through the experience of analog film photography, so I believe as a photographer, or I believe myself as I must learn to explore and experience the other ways of photography, like analog and that. So, like what you mentioned earlier on, it's true. You can't see the immediate result, but it's to experience the mystery of photography, in the sense that how would it turn out? That's the feeling that I get. I mean, shooting with a digital camera or iPhone, I shot with a GR4. Everything is there, but film is different. So I enjoy the process in the sense that I don't know whether I get it or not. And one thing I learned is I spoke to a friend of mine from New York that started film. One advice he gave me is, Beng, just go and shoot. Don't worry about wasting film. Shoot what you like, shoot what you see, just shoot. So, and this is what I'm doing. And I was given the Portra by Kevin Lee. So I now trying other film because I'm still new to film photography, and I've seen what Portra produce. I like the colors. So now I'm trying one called Agfa. 200.
Okay.
So I haven't finished yet. So Same thing. It's another journey for me to see how. And after, I want to play with colors first, and then after I'll move to the black and white, like what do you call it?
Triangles.
Yeah. So I'll see how it goes. Also. But overall, the experience has been great because someone that kind of complete me also.
Yeah.
Not only I shoot digital, but shooting film.
So it's all about the journey, the
The
experience.
journey, yes, correct.
Well, the other way of looking at how your journey has been is that when you first started, you were using the iPhone 2, I believe.
Yes.
Of course, back then the iPhone 2 was quite ahead in its time. But today, you now have the iPhone 4S. And so with that, the megapixels, the aperture and everything has changed a lot. And so obviously from iPhone early days, where the quality is not as good, it now has been very sharp and everything. Has that affected how you shoot? Has that changed the way you shoot? Has that made it any different?
No, it's still the same. The reason why I like to shoot with camera phone is because of the limitation. It helps me to push further. So back then with the 2G, the resolution was very low and everything, but to me it's fine because who says picture is sharp all the time. So most important thing is to make the picture, don't get caught up with the resolution and all that. Like currently I'm using the 4S, yes it does help in the sense that the shutter speed is faster right now and the handling of low light is much better, but it still doesn't change the way I shoot. I will still shoot and edit still.